Hello everyone, it is Justice, and today I'm going to flip through my honeymoon traveler's insert. This insert is from the Taiwan Beer 15th anniversary release, and I had been saving it for something special because this is really cute. Like, I don't see travelers do this a lot, and what is more special than getting married? So this documents a little bit before getting married, my wedding day, and mostly the honeymoon. It is mostly the honeymoon. And this is kind of like a junk journal, scrapbook type deal. So I had two types of journals. This one was all of the things that I obtained and I wanted to stick in and some thoughts. And I also had a mainly writing, mainly ink journal. So this is going to be funner to look at least in my opinion. I could also since it's mostly things that I've glued in, I'm not super concerned about the writing. So let's get into it. The very first page just has a receipt, a mini Mickey, and a little vellum sheet. I bought some sticky notes off of Amazon because I thought that they would add a really cute layering, texturing piece. And just look at this paper. It is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I wish that they would do this more often. I really like this. This page had the "if lost, please return to," and then my contact information. I have washi taped over it. That way, none of that gets out there. And then I also still have so many mini Mickey stickers from the little sticker book I purchased from the Happy Planner. So you're going to be seeing these pretty much everywhere because I want to use them up. First page. This is before the wedding, before the honeymoon. I wanted to visit some stores. So Yoseika, Atlas Stationers, and Papier Plume. I really, really wanted to go to those. Did not go to those. I ended up going to two other stores, which you will see later. So I went to my very first Coney Island, like the food, not the little amusement park type deal. And I took one of the take-home menus, cut it out, and glued it in. And I also had this sucker at the Coney Island afterwards. It was very cute because my fiance, who is now my husband, oh my gosh, that's so weird to say, he grew up at Coney Islands. And so it was my very first time. Ooh. Brass clip for Traveler's Notebook. I got the little airplane clip. So I had to save the packaging because, ideally, I will never have to purchase that ever again. So I wanted to save it. This is from Good Postage. This is one of the stationery stores that I went to. Their location is in Charlotte, North Carolina. They were incredibly sweet to me. So they had little stamps on their bag that they give you to take out. From there, I purchased the brass airplane clip that I showed in the previous page spread. I also purchased the blue clip for the Traveler's Notebook. I went ahead and put it on my airplane one. And there's a couple other things I purchased. I got a brass Kaweco Sport. I got the medium nib. I also got some Kaweco cartridges. And I got a ton of stickers. They're on my other book. Here's the little Kaweco packaging. This is from Niagara Falls. Whenever I would get little brown paper bags, I really made an effort to cut them up and put them in as a layering piece. This was a map of the shopping center in Charlotte, North Carolina, so that you can have an idea of where to get around. I thought it was very special, but it was too big to fit on just one page, so I tore it apart and then did a double page spread. I started to try to do more Tipins. I typically don't because I'm not a huge fan of the bulk that it adds. But if there's ever a time to get bulky, it's now. And honestly, I have had a very good time making this journal fat. I could potentially be a convert. I really liked the feeling of feeling this thicken up the more and more time that I spent in it. I thought that that was incredibly special. Oh, this is the sample writing paper for the new paper that's going to go in the Hobonichis. So put it in here. I don't notice a huge difference. I don't really care. As long as it takes my ink, we're good. Oh, and this little paper is from Shake Shack. Whenever you order food from Shake Shack and like get it to eat in, they had this paper lining the tray so that the tray didn't get disgusting. I made an effort to keep my paper super clean so I could take a little bit for my journal. And here is a little thing stamped by Yoseka Stationery. While I did not get to go, I did place an online order. So I got to put that in. Cute. Went ahead and put this in as well. I got my Hobonichi order in for the year, and everything is adorable as always, so I had to save it. This is a peanut butter that we had while on the trip. We got it from one of the Walmarts while we were out. It's peanut butter with white chocolate and pretzels. It was so good. I'm not a huge fan of very runny peanut butter, but it had a very great taste, and Danny devoured it. We also went to Unicoi State Park in Georgia. One of my favorite things to do whenever I visit somewhere is to get a sticker because it is, one, very inexpensive for a souvenir, and two, super easy for me to throw into my book. And if there's not really anything else that I'm really wanting to do in terms of a souvenir, like I'm not someone that collects t-shirts or hats or anything. I just can't be bothered. A sticker is where it's at. This is a little dried flower that I got from Niagara Falls. It was not dried when I got it, to clarify. Had Tim Hortons for the first time. I was not impressed. The Timbits were very cute, though. The Timbits were quite nice. However, they're just a standard donut hole. There's nothing like super special about them. But I got to say that I have had them now. We stayed at a DoubleTree Hotel at one point, and if you're not familiar, DoubleTree Hotel is known for their cookies. And at your check-in, you receive warm cookies. They always do it. They make cookies every single hour so that they can make sure that they are warm. Got some cookies, threw it in. Also went to what is it called? A planetarium. We went to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, and there's a little planetarium area, so we paid the extra little bit to go in and get to see the IMAX theater with all of the planets. Now, Scooter's coffee. It was also my first time having Scooter's coffee, and they were so good, partially because they had a raspberry syrup, and I am very partial to raspberry flavors, so I really like it. Also, their packaging was really cute. This is a coffee from one of the hotels. Hotel coffee. It's nothing special, but I wanted to save it. I have my coffee rankings here from the places I got to try on the trip, as well as some places that I know. So like Scooters was number 1. Starbucks I would rank under Scooters, then the Dutch Bros coffee. That being said, Dutch Bros I view as like nicer regularly, but I dinged them because they have fewer options and a lot of like energy drink juices, which I'm not a huge fan of that. 4, just generally an espresso machine, and then 5, Tim Hortons. This page, we had some craft beer while we were out, and this is a pumpkin spice beer that I got to have. And so you'll see a few times, I think, in this, I put down the beer labels. This is the Delicate Arch at Arches National Park. As you can see here, Diesel honked at a baby. At one point, we were trying to hike the Delicate Arch, and it is not a pet-friendly hike, so we left our dog in the car. Our dog, we don't quite know what he is yet. We're going to figure that out for Christmas. We ordered one of those little doggy DNA testing things for funsies, but we left him in the car. He's like a 40-pound dog, so he's not huge, but he's not tiny. He had a fit. We got just a little bit into the walk, and in the quiet of the park, we just hear, "Brrr." And of course, you kind of like pause for a second, wondering what in the world is happening. And then I realized it's my dog. And so I start sprinting through the parking lot to the car, which took forever. It felt like an eternity. And I kept shouting at everyone, like, I am so sorry. It is my dog. I'm so sorry. It's my dog. And, you know, the people who were parked right in front of my car were trying to get in, and I passed them. We passed them trying to go onto the hike, and they were saying, oh, I want to do XYZ, but the baby's sleeping. Of course, they parked directly in front of us, and my dog honked at their baby and woke it up. So, like, so much for them trying to salvage their baby's nap. At the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, they had free menstrual products, which saved my life. I had to save it for that. I've never been anywhere that offers free menstrual products. At our wedding, we gave out Symphony chocolate bars and regular Hershey's chocolate bars with like old selfies of us on them. Thought that was really cute, so I saved the packaging. This sticker was purchased from the Wizard's Chest in Denver, Colorado. And this is actually my little note from Alex at Team Yoseka that came with my Hobonichi order. I thought this was really nice. And spoiler, I got the One Piece Hobonichi. I am so excited about it. This is from Crater Lake in Oregon. We went whenever it was frozen with snow. The water itself was not frozen, but there was like multiple feet high of snow where people have made trails and you kind of just follow their trails because it's not worth making your own considering that it's waist high. But even then, it was so beautiful. I really want to go back during the summer. I think this is from the Dutch Bros Coffee, decking halls since 1992. I think this is from the Dutch Bros. And then this is from a Magic card set. Yes, there is the Dutch Bros logo. Sweet, wonderful. We got this when we were leaving Oregon and heading into California. This was hanging on one of our hotel room doors. In order to have your pet, you had to put this on your door. That way people know. So I asked if I could keep it. They said yes. Another beer label. This one, the back was actually written by one of my friends. So I know who wrote this. I wanted to keep the little foil packages for the Magic cards that we purchased. These were purchased at Geeks and Gamers in Mobile, Alabama. These saved us, mainly Danny. Towards the end of the trip, we could tell that we were getting sick from the amount that we were not eating vegetables. And so we started purchasing these little juices whenever we would go by Walmarts and things. And Danny had a lot of them. He did not get sick. I did get sick. Little love note from one of our very good friends that let us stay with her. And she also got us some muffins. And I think this map in the back is of Zion National Park in Utah. Yep, there it is. There's the rest of it. Here's another of the Test the Tamoy River paper. I've like written a lot on it. And I tipped it in so that you can flip it open, see the whole thing. We watched a documentary style movie called Missing 411. If you're curious about like the mention of cryptids, like they don't outright say cryptids, but it's eluded. And national parks. Missing 411 is really cool. Oh, here's the Embark DNA test so that you can see that we got it, so that we can try and do some research on Mr. Diesel Dog. Another little Hobonichi item, and this gorgeous beer paper again. And we're not done yet. In the very back, I put in a brochure from Zion Mountain Ranch. We stayed at the Zion Mountain Ranch. It is like barely out of the Zion Mountains. They have like bison and all kinds of fun little things, buffalo. And we were right here. And we were overlooking a lot of the area where the little animals get to peruse and enjoy themselves. It was super fun. There's also a restaurant called Cordwood there. We got to eat. It was wonderful. Also, something to note on our trip, I tried to play the lottery so many times because I was like, yeah, I don't think that I want to work ever again. This is pretty nice. Didn't win. I'm still here. But that is pretty much the end. Flipping through it, I feel like it's substantially less than what I remember, but at the same time, I also know that it takes a lot of time to actually put the paper into the book and decide where you would like it to go in the pages. I did this very free form where as I got things, I put them in versus going chronologically because I wanted it to be a very even and visually pleasing book to have. And I will have it forever now. So that was my flip through. Thank you so much for being with me. If you would like to, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. During your wedding or honeymoon, if you are married, did you keep a journal? / if you are planning to in the future, do you want to have a journal with you? And are you going to do it junk journal style, or are you going to do it just like ink to paper? I would love to know. Have a good one. Bye-bye.